Welcome back to another edition of Jen Sports Corner. Back at you. I'm your host, Jen, my co-host.
Ryan from Ryan Sportscast. What's going on, y'all?
And you already know why we're here today. We're gathered here today for these two.
Yes, sir.
James Harden is officially in Philadelphia. You know what? I'm gonna keep it a buck. I thought it was a strong possibility that it would happen. All the trade talks that were happening between Woj and I can't remember. I don't know if it's Adam Schefter and Woj or somebody else in Woj. But
Yeah.
where there's smoke, there's fire. What did you think on the situation, man?
I like the trade. We got what was I think this year's first round pick and 2027's first round pick, and then Seth Curry and who
Drummond.
else? Huh?
So you had Drummond, Curry,
Yeah, Drummond, Curry. Yeah, the
the
two first round.
2027 first round pick, and then an unprotected first round pick for 2022.
Yeah, I mean that's a good trade, and then you give them, they got Ben Simmons, we got James Harden. So I mean, I like it. James Harden, the superstar. Maybe he can get us over that hump. I mean, losing Seth Curry and Drummond, I think when you look at James Harden, I think he'll well make up for it. So yeah, I think it's a good move. I think hopefully it put us in a spot where we can possibly make the chip this year, man.
Yeah, so I like this trade for a couple of reasons. I would personally say I like the trade more because Ben Simmons is gone, more so than the fact that James Harden is here. And it's not a knock on James Harden, but you're getting rid of that long contract with a guy who you don't know if he's going to work to improve his game to fit in with the pieces we have here. And then two, you get James Harden coming in on a 1-year contract, and then he just opted into his next year for $47 million. Yes. So he opted into his $47.3 million contract option for next season. So pretty much the Sixers are getting him as a expensive, but nonetheless a 1-year rental. So they can see, does he do well this year? Okay. We have him back on that option. And so we don't have to worry about re-signing him next year in the offseason and losing him for nothing. And then if he brings us a chip, which we're hoping he will, then we can cross that bridge when we get to it in 2024.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very good deal. I think I was really shocked at the fact that we were able to keep Maxey and Thibault. I knew Maxey wasn't going anywhere, but the fact that he kept Thibault, that was huge for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I was worried about losing those pieces because you got. I mean, that's your building core right there. That's the centerpieces you need to build this team. You can't get rid of that. And I mean, you get rid of those two pieces. One of those two pieces, I'm not going to be happy. But the fact you're able to keep both of them is huge. So I really like it.
Yeah, I think the Nets were in a tougher spot than the Sixers were for a couple of reasons. One, they didn't want to get caught in a situation where they would lose James Harden next offseason for nothing because he had already voiced his displeasure being there. And I think a big part of that was the fact that Kyrie Irving is not vaccinated, so he can only play the away games or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Can't play in Brooklyn. So you have a Kyrie Irving that's there half of the time, and then the Kevin Durant who's hurt right now. So do they even make the playoffs this year? Are they strong in the playoffs this year? Kyrie Irving is such an enigma. I think that among other things was a big reason why Harden wanted to be gone.
Oh, and yeah.
I'll tell you this much. The word came out that Ben Simmons got vaccinated or is getting vaccinated now that he knows he's going to Brooklyn.
Very interesting.
Right? So that tells you a lot, because if he wasn't going to do that, then what would be the point of Brooklyn trading for him if he can't play half the games?
Exactly. He just didn't want to be here, man. Maybe it'll. You see, it's gonna make me mad if he turns into the superstar we thought he can turn into. If he goes there and does that, I'm gonna be so mad. But I don't know. I don't see it happening because of his laziness. He just has something about him that just I don't know. I don't see it.
I think that this situation is more conducive to his current skill set because Embiid, though he's very versatile, he wants to be in the paint. He's going to get double and triple teams. And thankfully, we have Maxey, he's hitting over 40% of his threes this year so far.
Yeah.
And then now you have James Harden, who's also going to space the floor. He's also going to demand double teams when he slashes to the basket. And he actually can step back. And even though he hasn't been hitting threes at the clip that we're used to him hitting, he'll take the shot. So you have to respect his shot. Versus Ben Simmons, you knew that you could just triple team Embiid and just clog up the middle like they used to try to do with Giannis, and you effectively took Ben Simmons out the game. And if Ben Simmons, for some reason, did find a way to start slashing to the net later in the game, you could foul him. And he couldn't hit the foul shots, and that puts you at a disadvantage. Versus him going over to Brooklyn, you have Kevin Garnett, who is one of the best offensive scorers of all time, if we're being honest. So he's going to space the floor by default. So Ben Simmons, a guy who wants to pass the ball on the court with two guys, one whose player efficiency is so high, it doesn't matter how much he gets the ball, but he's going to get the ball a lot from Ben and Kevin Durant. And then another player who is ball dominant in Kyrie Irving, who, you want to pass the ball? I'll be glad to take all the shots. So for me, it's going to be a perfect situation. Well, not perfect, but much more conducive to him being successful.
Mm-hmm.
People may not like him here, but will he be a Hall of Famer? That's yet to be said. Can he turn it around and actually add to his game? Sure, but in the likelihood that he doesn't, he can still be a piece that makes a team a very serious contender. So he definitely makes Brooklyn better, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
So I think both teams got a good deal out of it for two players who did not want to be there anymore. James Harden, while I don't think he's the MVP James Harden, I still, come on, bro. He's putting up 22.8, like 8 rebounds and almost 11 assists. He's almost a walking triple double this year as a player who is not playing up to the level that he was with the Rockets. And he's still almost a walking triple double. So I think it's money well spent, a trade well done. And Daryl Morey.
Yeah, man.
He stared him down just like I'm staring y'all down right now, did not budge, and said, you can have Ben, Maxey's off the table, you guys figure it out. And really, it came down to, I think, Matisse Thybulle at the end of the day. That was the report from Keith Pompey, that they were negotiating. I think they already had Ben Simmons and Drummond and Seth Curry on the table, and maybe one of the 2 first-round draft picks. I think Thybulle was the last piece, and then they said, we're not doing Thybulle. So maybe that's when they compromised on a draft, an extra draft pick or something like that.
Yeah. Kudos to them, man.
Yeah. Excellent negotiations. Negotiation 101. Nobody thought they would ever get anything for Ben Simmons, let alone James Harden, unless you were going to give up Maxey. And you did a great job.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love it. Like I said, I love the trade. In fact, you don't have to get rid of those 2 main pieces to that young core. It's huge for us, especially for the future. And, I think Maxey's and obviously Thybulle's the future, man. I think they're going to be very good. And I think Thybulle's game and Maxey's is only going to, the sky's the limit, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So they're doing very well. Right now, I'm going to share a screen so we can look at the deal in its totality here. It's my share screen button. Okay. Desktop.
But yeah, I kind of figured that Kyrie Irving didn't want to be there. I mean, not Kyrie, I'm sorry. James Harden wanted to leave because of Kyrie Irving, it seemed like. I think that was part of the situation.
Say that again about Kyrie Irving.
It seems like, from what I'm gathering, that James Harden probably didn't want to be there because of the situation with Kyrie, maybe Kyrie Irving.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
He's an enigma.
yeah, he is.
And if so, the big narrative here has been, and I don't know how much I buy into this, but Embiid, maybe he has a 2 to 4 year window. You have to worry about the wear and tear on a guy that's over 7 foot, so on and so forth. And then you have a guy in James Harden who's also looking at probably his career in the same capacity. Like, okay, I might have 2 to 3 years left that I'm playing at a high level or that I even want to play, right? The same way as we saw with Jimmy Butler. So I want to put myself in the best situation to be able to get a title. That's the whole reason that he went to the Nets, was to team up with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. And that has not worked out so far. Not even because of like lack of skill or other things that you couldn't force on, but like they're just not on the court.
Yeah.
Right. So let me see if I can share screen this now. Whatever. I ain't gonna worry about this time. I'll just read off what I have here. So here's the big thing that's going to stand out with everybody. And when he comes back, there was a tweet by one of the Sixers announcers saying that it's going to be so dope seeing Ben Simmons miss 3 free throws so we can get our first Frosty freeze outs.
Yeah.
Facts, because I doubt he's worked on his free throw shooting in his time off. He's probably been playing Call of Duty. You know, you had like the $4 million video game room in his Voorhees.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the biggest TV there is.
Shooting free throws on the PS5, but not in real life, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, we went to the playoffs 4 times with Ben. Still effective as a facilitator and open floor playmaker. He's actually pretty exceptional defensively. We saw him against Bradley Beal and Trae Young, but his shooting, he was 34% from the free throw line in the playoffs. That was worse than Shaq, right? And Wilt.
Yeah, that's saying something, bro.
That's crazy to me, man.
Yeah.
When Dwight Howard is shooting a higher free throw percentage in the playoffs, I believe, than Ben was, that's like insane.
There's something wrong there. He's a point guard. There's no excuses to that.
Yeah, and that doesn't have anything. You don't have to be a world-class athlete to shoot better from the free throw line than that.
Yeah.
You take an average Joe from the stands, and they'll come out and hit 45 to 50%.
He's a first-round pick. Like, I mean, he's a first overall pick. Like, come on. Like, you got to be better. I mean, when you go to Brooklyn, he better work on his game, bro, because that boy needs, like, I don't wish him bad. You know, I hope he does figure it out, but he's so lazy, man. Like, I just, it's going to make me mad at the same time if he does, though, because then it's like, you take your game to the next level on a different city, but you couldn't bring it here. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's, I think Ike Reese mentioned it on the radio. Playing the Nets might be in the same stratosphere as a rivalry as the Cowboys, just for the simple fact that Ben Simmons is there after what we all went through.
Yeah. Agreed. You know?
I don't hate anybody, but I have a strong dislike. You know what? Like you just said, it's not a dislike of the person. It's a dislike of your work ethic, man. You're lazy and you don't want to take constructive criticism and get better.
Yeah, it just seems like he has a poor attitude.
It does, because, you know, the whole thing of Shaq getting on his case and then he got mad at Shaq, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, you think people weren't critical of Shaq and his free throw shooting? Shaq, when they couldn't get it done, quote unquote, him and Penny Hardaway with the Magic, you think people weren't on his head for that? You think they weren't on Shaq's head for being out of shape and he had to fix that when he went to the Lakers?
I mean, yeah, as well as they should have been.
And he did. And guess what? He got on your teammate JoJo. And what did JoJo do? Did he get mad at Charles and Shaq? No. Guess what? He got in shape. He got away from the Shirley Temples and the Chick-fil-A. He started getting serious, conditioning.
Yeah.
He worked on his post game, started backing people down, instead of trying being cute every time we came down on the offensive possession. And he actually, look, after the playoff loss to Toronto, he put his big boy pants on and he came out and he was a leader of that team last year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He took that constructive criticism. He came out and look, not saying I don't want to win, but in my opinion, I don't know how you feel. If we never win a ring with Embiid, Embiid has gotten to the point where, to me, he's reached Brian Dawkins status. Where even if they don't win, it's just like he was the guy. We had the guy who embodied this city, and you could see it on his face. Like when they played the Nets and Kevin Durant came in and hit the shot in Philly or something like that and told us to go home, and then he came right back and hit the dagger against the Nets, and then he's waving at Durant like, bye, go home. Like you're not this immortal god. I'm not scared of you. Go home. You want to act tough and pop off of the lip, I got you right back. I'll bring that same energy. Like he's that guy, and Philly fans will always love him for that. And even like I said, we want them to win, obviously, but even if they don't win, in our minds, we're going to be thinking it's not because of Embiid. He did everything and more, being one of the best players, not just in the league, but honestly in Philly sports history. I mean, he's slowly creeping up to, minus the titles, he's creeping up to Wilt Chamberlain status.
Yeah, he really is, man. I think he's the best center in the league.
Yeah.
Without question.
So he big trade with James Harden coming here. I as much as, you know what, hey, this is, this podcast, we don't pull any punches. I've always said that I don't like his face. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like the fact that he gets fouls from what I perceive as flopping and throwing his hands in the air. But like I said, if he comes to my team, all ills are forgotten. Do that for my team, I don't care. I'd rather take advantage of that happening.
Real talk, bro.
So you can flop all you want as long as you're gonna bring us a chip.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I still don't want to see it. I mean, it would be annoying, but at least it would be going to everybody else and not us.
Yeah, seeing the beard in the in the parade, you know what I mean? I mean, that'd be sweet though, man. I wanted Philadelphia 76ers parade so bad, championship, man.
We'll see what James Harden we're going to get. So that's why I'm a little lukewarm on this. Like, we'll see how he is once he steps on the court, once he starts playing with the team and whatnot. How's his attitude? Does he go back into the James Harden that we've heard bad things about, or does he come out like James Harden in Houston? So
he better be it like the old man, not the one that's all dramatic, devious, like Mr. Ben Simmons. He better be non-dramatic, but I know it's a lot to ask for sometimes from these superstars, but hey, we'll see.
Yeah. So I think he's in a great spot. I mean, it would be hard to think of why he would be dramatic, because he's coming from a team who Kevin Durant on the bench hurt, Kyrie don't know when he's going to play, in and out because of the whole back situation and whatnot, to a team that with Embiid, like you said, best center in the league, a top 3 player in the league. In my mind, if I'm James Harden, my eyes are lighting up like, oh, this is it. This is what I wanted to leave Houston for. So
yeah, he's got to be salivating, bro. I mean, you got Maxey, Thibault.
Yes.
But it's a killer lineup. As long as he's got to find a way to take his game to the next level, to where I mean, I don't think he will be like the Rockets, be at least somewhat close to it, or like, keep doing what you were doing before, either way, it's a good trade. Getting rid of Ben Simmons, bye. But we got James Harden in here, and hopefully we can get that chip, man. But we'll see.
Yeah, low risk, high reward, man. If he's putting up 20 a night and giving me, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, just that alone with this squad, and now you didn't lose too much defensive integrity because you have Thibault there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Thibault's defense is just on another level, man. That's why I did not want to lose him. really good player, and just defense is probably his strength.
Yeah, I want to see if they add another piece. Maybe you have the trade deadline, but they also have what's the other deadline? Like right before the season's over, when you get like like you remember when we got what was his name? Spanish guy a couple years ago.
Spanish guy?
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, not Bogdanovich. Damn it, man.
I'm trying to figure out what. Fuck, this is gonna bother me too now.
Because it's not like the NFL, because there's another trade period where you can add people before the playoffs in basketball. Like you don't have that in baseball or football, but you do in basketball.
Yeah, I can't even think of it.
But anyways, it would be nice to see them try to add some depth to the bench, whether it be a G League player, because like losing Seth Curry, we didn't want to do that, but Seth Curry was hitting what, like 34, 35 to 37%, something like that this year.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah, so like James Harden is not too far off from that, but he also gives you the playmaking ability and the ability to create his own shot off his dribble. So I felt fine with giving away Seth Curry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it perfectly makes sense because he makes up for what we're losing.
Right. And then, yeah, the big thing, like I said, was keeping Thibault and Maxey. That was everything there.
That was huge. Yeah.
Because you're going to have, yeah. If Embiid does get hurt or his time is limited, then at least you're able to have Maxey and Thibault there to rebuild with. If Embiid does play at a high level and the injuries aren't a factor in the next 4 or 5 years, then even if you don't get a ring with Harden, you still have. After I was impressed with Maxey last year and a couple games this year, but that game with Morant showed me everything. He went back and forth, toe to toe with him, and the layups. They were both making incredibly different shots with a different style. Morant more off balance, like circus act type of layups, whereas Maxey not off balance, but like he just so damn quick to that basket and just laying it up like 50 feet off there in the air off the backboard, and just with such a nice touch.
Yeah, man.
Just clutch. So he's going to be here for a while. We got fortunate with that one.
For sure.
So all in all, man, it was a very good day in Philadelphia sports history. It's the biggest moment we've had since Bryce Harper, and how big this moment will be depends on where James Harden's mind is at and how he gels with Embiid moving forward this season. So
I think it'll be very well. I just have a feeling that, I think I see big things, man. I hope, but I just have a gut feeling, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's a very good move, man. Very good move. And honestly, let's keep it real, man. You're starting 5. Tyrese Maxey at the point. James Harden, shooting guard. Danny Green and or Thibault. I would probably say Thibault. Or maybe Danny Green, whatever. You could stagger them at shooting forward. Tobias Harris at power forward, and then Embiid at the 5. So Tobias Harris now with James Harden, because James Harden, people don't think about it, he's a great facilitator. Mind you, he's getting 11 assists a game this year. So for him to get more open looks to Tobias Harris and Embiid, that's another part that I'm really excited about. So
yeah, man, I'm really excited to see. When's their next game?
Let's see. Because we're coming up on the all-star break pretty soon. So let's see when the Sixers' next game is. Sixers' next game is tomorrow at playing the Thunder at home.
Will he play, you think? Probably
I
not.
don't know. I don't know because he might have to come in and pass a physical and all that. Yeah, because he's had the hamstring thing,
Yeah.
quote unquote hamstring. I I'm not saying that it's not a legitimate injury, but is he overplaying it because he wanted to sit down and get out? Possibly. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be as big of an issue as it might usually be for somebody who's so. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he might have to pass a physical or whatnot, get a practice in. So maybe it might not be this game, but after that, the next game after the Thunder game would be on the 12th against the Cavaliers, and then you have another one on the 15th against the Celtics. So I would say sometime if we don't see him this Saturday, I think we'll see him next week against the Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm thinking.
Harden. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably say this Saturday or the Celtics game.
Yeah. I don't think he's playing tomorrow.
Yeah, either way, I mean, we're in a really good spot.
Yeah. Very good spot.
Look at what the Sixers did without him. I'm just really excited about what they're going to do with him on the team. So right now we're 5th in the Eastern Conference. But that being said, we're only 2.5 games out of first place. So it's a very tight race.
Oh man.
So we're 32-22, but the Heat are 35-20. So like and then everybody else is in between. So we're 2.5 games back of Miami, a half game back of Milwaukee, and 1 game back of Chicago and Cleveland. So
right. Wow.
And then we have a lot of games left, right? So
oh yeah.
We're only 54 games in, so you got another 28 games left.
28, yeah.
A long time.
Yeah, man.
So it's a good move to make right before the trade deadline, and it'll get a chance to be able to practice and gel going into this. Yes, this will be good. He'll get a couple games to get his feet wet and then practice with the squad over the break and then come back. And the new look 76ers are going to go out there. I can't wait until we play the Nets. I really can't.
I want to see that bitch. I want to see bitch boy.
Oh, man. That's where we're going now?
I don't know. Just looking at his face in the background there.
You sure it's not this face or is it that face?
I mean, they're both very punchable faces, but I mean, I gotta go. Ben's got the free throw. I just missed look.
Oh my gosh. That's gonna be the same look he has when he has his first game with the Nets. That same look. Right there, that look.
Yeah.
So we play them on March 10th. So circle that on your calendars on TNT, prime time. It was already prime time, but it's really prime time.
Philly?
It is in it's in Philly.
That's tempting.
So the question of the day on the radio was, is Ben Simmons going to play when he come to Philly?
No. No. He'll be a little bitch. You know how Ben is. Gets caught up in his feelings.
You know what? And I wore this shirt today just for that reason. The Fresh Prince one, just because it's like a farewell kind of
Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a farewell to our guy right here. You know.
Yeah.
I have my other shirt with it's the Jesus on the cross at Calgary, but instead of Jesus ascending into heaven, it's Sam Hinkie, and then there's Embiid, and then Ben Simmons is like on once. I think he was like instead of Mary Magdalene, it was Ben Simmons looking up at our Lord and Savior, Sam Hinkie. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Where Sam Hinkie is and what he's thinking right now.
I don't know. He's, I don't know, man. It's just all they could think about is Tatum.
Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, we barely knew you. I still wish Markelle Fultz the best of luck. There's a difference. There's a difference, right? Because Markelle Fultz, through the injuries, through the setbacks, you saw pure effort and determination, and that made Philly fans, and I've mentioned this ad nauseum, it made Philly fans love him even though he struggled. So once he came back, even though he got traded, people wanted to see him thrive when he went to the Magic. I was happy as all when he came back on the Magic. He started hitting threes. I think he got a win against us. Then obviously I didn't want us to lose, but I was happy for him, man. I was like, man, good for you, man. Like, you're doing everything that we hoped you would do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because you didn't try. It's because these were things that were outside of your control.
Yeah.
Right. And even when he got the ACL injury this past year, I felt so bad for him, man, because I'm like, man, you're finally back, and I hope he comes back. He's a great player. I do not feel the same way for Ben Simmons. I feel the exact opposite. Not that I hate him, but I just don't. You can't have empathy for somebody like that. I can try to wrap my head around what he's going through. If he has issues with mental health, that's you have therapy for that. Hopefully, he's getting the help he needs. But that being said, even once you're going through therapy, one of the things starts with the letter A that your therapist will have you take note of is accountability. You have to be able to do that. Know your role in the shortcomings and be able to improve upon that. Not just for the people that you kind of pissed off, but for your own well-being moving forward.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
You're changing scenery, but you're only going up the Turnpike. And if you didn't address any of the issues that you had when you were down here in Philly, they're only going to stay the same or get worse when you go up there or wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, rant over.
Yeah. No, I agreed, man. Yeah, he's not going too far.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And I think that's it for now. We're going to get to the Super Bowl matchup on the next episode. I really want to go through the numbers because I'm planning to put some money on this because
Word.
I don't know. Did we have an episode for the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't think we did because that was the first time in about 3 years since I started the podcast before I was, in school heavy, where I had the chance to sit down like I used to do with my boxing and go through all the stats, go through all the numbers, see the matchups, look at all the players, see who was matching them against who. And my prediction for that game, and I put it up on my story about 30 minutes before game time, I said the Bengals have a strong chance of winning this game. My prediction was final score of the game was 27-24, right?
Mm-hmm.
My prediction was 28-26 Bengals.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that. I'm like, you were fucking dead close.
Pretty damn close. And I had reasons for that too. I had very distinct reasons for that. So for me, look, I got $20 to put on a team that once I do the research that I think is going to win. Because where could you go wrong? There was a guy that or lady, whoever, that did a parlay bet. I think it was for the correct scores for the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game, and they got both of them right. They put $20 down and he won like $500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I spent $20 on dumb things. At least I could spend $20 on something. We do this all the time, right? We sit down, we go through the statistics, we look at the matchups, we study the teams, why not? That, to me, that is an educated guess versus you just gambling. Like you don't know nothing about blackjack or you're just going and playing the lottery at the corner store. That's gambling. This, I say, is you have a certain amount of control. It's still a risk. It's an educated risk, but why not? I mean, I put all that time into looking that up, and to me, that was an easy call. They were heavy favorites. KC was. They were heavy favorites against the Bengals. And after I did my analysis, I sat back. I was like, I don't see how the Chiefs are going to beat the Bengals. that was my take. I'm like, I don't know what y'all seeing, but for me, I'm like, how are they going to stop Jamar Chase? I'm like, they're not. How are they going to stop? I just did not see how it was going to happen. I said that the Bengals defense would have an easier time stopping the Chiefs because they did it earlier. They beat the Chiefs earlier, and they held Tyreek Hill and Kelsey to like 6 catches combined or something like that. And 1 touchdown. Now that didn't happen this time, but the same thing happened as what happened in the last game. They fell behind early, and then they plugged up the leak, and then they came back. And they did the exact same thing in this game, which is crazy. They fell behind. It was just like, oh shit, this is about to get out of hand fast. And they stopped the bleeding. You know, the Chiefs had a really maybe it kind of it haunted them when they did not get that touchdown at the end of the first half. I was like, ooh,
yeah,
left the door. That offense.
It's hands down the best playoffs that I have ever witnessed.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. All right, but let me stop rambling on. That's it for this episode. I appreciate you for your insight, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Big day. Thoughts, comments, concerns, leave it in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, smash the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we drop a video, because you're not going to want to miss it the same way as some of you guys might have missed the one where I made the prediction for the Bengals game. And if you would have listened to me, would have made a lot of money like I should have if I put money down. So make sure you click that notification bell so you're up to date with every video we drop. And with that, that's a wrap, man. I'm your co-host Jen.
Ryan.
Catch y'all next time, man. Peace.